Hey everyone, welcome back to 12 Days of Summer with Daisy and Christy. We are moving right along with day 4, which I've titled Hello Sunshine, and it's all about using a sun in your layout. So I am re-scrapping a layout. Yep, you guys know I do this. Funny story too is that I actually had a lot of compliments on this layout. People really liked it. It definitely has a clean and simple look to it. So much so that it was a little too clean and simple, and I just didn't love it. So, no big deal. I'm just going to scrap it. It's all going to be okay. I decided to also do this one. I'm creating this back in May during National Scrapbooking Day weekend, actually, when Paper Issues the week before held their spring crop, and one of the challenges was a this or that challenge, and I attempted to create this layout for that, failing miserably because the very first this or that is to use all pattern paper or all cardstock, and I used a ton of pattern paper, but I put it on a piece of cardstock as my background. So yeah. I don't follow rules very well. It was funny. Anyways, so I just decided to just go with it. I kept using everything else, and I did challenge myself to use the rest of the this or that, but it didn't qualify. And as I was creating it, I kept looking at this like, hey, this would be perfect for my summer series with Daisy. And so that's why it's being shared now instead of back in May. So the this or that was to use either all cardstock or all pattern paper. I tried to do all pattern paper. Everything else tends to be pattern paper. It's just using that white cardstock that I messed up on. We had to use either 4 of the same sizes of circles or rectangles, and I decided to go with circles. You'll see that at the very end. You had to use silver or gold. I obviously went with gold. I like silver, but gold is easy to do with when it comes to summer. You have to hand journal or type journal. I end up hand journaling because I always hand journal, but you don't see that on my finished layout. I do that afterwards. You had to use enamels or flare. I used flare because flare is circular, so I could tie that in with my circles. Ephemera or chipboard, I chose to use ephemera. Ribbon or twine, I used twine to help stitch in my sun, which is what you are seeing me do right now. I used twine to do those in-between rays there. You had to mat your photo or frame it, and I have already matted these photos because it was part of a different layout, as you can see. So I did the mats, and then you had to use 3 photos or 2 photos. I do end up using the 3. 2 of them are smaller, which worked really well. And then the very last thing was using a sun or a camera, and I actually used both. So again, I kind of cheated, but that's okay. So to kind of I knew I had screwed up at this point, right? Like I knew I had put everything on cardstock, and I'm like, Daisy, I messed up. And so to make it up, I was like, well, I'll just kind of create my own pattern paper then, and it can be semi okay. And how I did that was I sprayed, you saw me, I sprayed blue mist. I used my frostbite up where I was going to put my clouds in the sky. I painted yellow in between the rays so that the sun, it was yellow sun. And then I did spray mist the bottom of that pattern paper with green so that it was like the grass and everything. So it's kind of like another scene layout. Daisy has got me doing scene layouts left, right, and center, and I don't know where it's coming from. This is not something I used to do, but apparently it's my thing now because I've done a ton of them lately, and I love them. I think they're really fun and playful, especially when it has something to do with something where it's like summertime or springtime, where it is a fun and playful time in the year. And so I find doing these scene layouts really work with them. And I really, really, really like the way this layout turns out. So you can see I've already matted my photo. I'm going to add in 2 more photos to kind of go along with the challenge. So I use one of my painted toes, just relaxing in the grass there. And then the other one is just that favorite photo I have of Nora. I've already scrapped this one in a big 12 by 12 separate all on its own. But I love this little photo of her in her little sun hat, just having a great time in the sun. I think she's adorable. And I felt like it really gave a good representation of our summer because seriously, all last summer if I wasn't, well, I wasn't working because I was still on mat leave, but if we were home, we were at the park. Jackson was either in the water or on the playground. Nora was trying to keep her out of the sun and not burn. But we were at the park a ton. It was definitely the theme of last year, and it was really, really nice. We got to walk every day, so we were being active, and Jackson got to waste off all his energy. It was lovely. So it really definitely was what our summer was like. It was a very happy summer. It was nice to be off. That one summer I like working. I couldn't take any more time off, but it was nice to be off. And then we would go before it got way too hot, and then we would be able to spend the rest of the day inside where it was cool and not get overheated or anything like that, especially with a little one. That was really important, and it was just a fantastic time. So that's what this layout is talking about. And then just re-scrapping it, like I said, because though I liked the simplicity of the original layout, it was missing the fun and whimsy to it that I was trying to convey, which I did attempt to fix by like coloring in the clouds behind it with the painted stuff and all of that. I did attempt to do it. It just didn't really work. And that was a layout I had created back for one of my 30 Days of Sketches series. And I think I was feeling rushed, and so I didn't take the time to make it what it could be. And so I just left it. And that's what I do sometimes. I just leave things. I let them sit until something else comes to my mind. And then I re-scrap it, because I don't have a problem with re-scrapping. I've mentioned this multiple times. You know what? I actually like it. I find it fun. I like to re-scrap them and see what the differences are. And as long as I'm happier with the second layout, I think for me, it's worth my time. So I had fun with that. You can see I'm trying to add in these circles now. I do that by the one little flare that says love. That's how I got the flare into my layout. The sun already had a circle in the middle of the sun smiley face there, so I went ahead and counted that as another one. And then that bottom flare down has a circle element, although I do kind of trim it, but it's still a circle. And finally, I add a button to one of the clouds. I take away one of the stars and add a button instead. And I really love the way that turns out. I do add a couple stickers. I basically used up, finally, a sticker sheet from Chamel that is going to go in the trash now that I've used that all up. And then off camera at the very end, which you will see in my final photos, I added some sequins. I added them to the sunglasses to help kind of make them pop and shine. And then I also added them to every other pink ray in the big sun. And that was the way I was able to wrap up this layout. So I really had fun playing along and creating a layout based around the theme of sun. I actually was able to add 2, so that was really exciting. Please make sure you go on over and check out Daisie's take for today. I'm sure it's absolutely fabulous. Of course, I have created this months in advance, so I don't actually know what it looks like yet, but I guarantee you it's fabulous. So go make sure you check it out. And if you want to play along, go ahead and use our hashtag 12 Days of Summer DC. And we'd love to see what you create. And you never know, at the very end, there might be a prize. So it's always worth playing. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them below. You're going to just see me finish everything out, and there's a look at my final layout with the sequence added in for the final touches. Bye, everyone.